Good morning, and welcome to Dawn. Welcome to Dawn. Um, I'm still actually on the thought that I've been carrying since the last 2 days, where we've been looking at simple hacks that could help your faith. I've been talking about, I'll briefly talk about the importance of faith, and then I will delve into little things that you could do to just help you. They sound like they are little, but they are so profound that if we will do as instructed, you will receive as promised. And so, even today, I'm still borrowing a leaf from that thought as I talk to you about convictions. What do I mean by convictions? These are your deep seated beliefs, and we all have them. Give me a second, let me do something here. These are your deep seated beliefs, and we all have them, and our lives are run by them. You see, when we talk about a conviction, we're talking about the belief system that has become embedded in your subconscious, that has become embedded in your psyche. Now, when we talk about convictions, we're not talking about necessarily what you believe in your mind, because it is possible to know a truth in your mind, yet your actions will reveal that that truth is not yet in your heart. David was talking to us about it, and he talked about how he had come to a place where he had hidden God's word in his heart. He said this in Psalms. He said, "Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against you." So he explained to us, and he was drawing our attention to the fact that it is possible to believe something consciously and believe something else subconsciously. Pressure has a way of helping us truly become aware of what we believe. I've often said this: when there is a conflict between what you feel and what you think you know, pay attention to what you feel. Let me say it again. When there is a conflict between what you feel and what you think you know, pay attention to what you actually feel. Why? Because what we actually feel is a revelation to what is most likely being produced from your subconscious. I'll say it again. It is possible to believe something in your conscious mind and something else in your subconscious mind. And pressure has a way of revealing or causing us to default to what is in our subconscious mind. When our belief systems in our subconscious mind is compromised, when we come under pressure and the pressure is sustained, we find ourselves defaulting to that state. So much so that we'll begin to even question ourselves: how did I do this? Why did I do this? I can't believe I did that. Yes, it is because of the wiring in your subconscious. This is also key, because your convictions can convict you and keep you in a state of sentence where you are sentenced to a particular experience over and over again. So note this: when you begin to have a negative or positive experience over and over again, it is a sign of your convictions. It is a sign of your beliefs in your subconscious. So if you are able to repeatedly experience peace, you are, and no matter the circumstance, you consistently are able to produce peace and experience peace in your environment. There is a conviction that produces that, because your convictions inform your decisions, and that thing, like we all know, determines that issue of decisions determines your destiny. So it is important then for us to pay attention to what's going on our inside. It is important for us to be very conscious of what you are feeling and begin to curate, pay attention to what you are actually thinking. That might seem like a lot of work, but it will help you so much. Where you think about what you are thinking about. When you face a situation, whether it's a threat or it's good news, what is the emotion that default shows up on your inside? For example, when you find yourself experiencing something good, Pay attention to how you genuinely feel, because even though you might be happy, is there an immediate thought that also seems to rise, an immediate feeling that also seems to rise, where there is this thing of, what if this will not last? I'm sure now that I'm experiencing something good, something bad is also about to happen. If that thought is showing up in your emotions, is showing up in your mind when something good is occurring or when something good has occurred, you need to pay attention to it. You need to take the time to begin to ask yourself the questions: why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like good things don't last? Do I feel like good things don't always happen to me? When something bad happens, pay attention to the immediate thought that comes to your mind. For example, maybe something bad occurs. Maybe you have, no, let me not say you. Maybe your enemy is rear-ended in a car accident. Is your immediate thought one of, bad things always happen to me? Why is my case always difficult? Why can't I just have one good day? If that is the default that shows up, and then you have to counter it, pay attention to it. It means your internal self talk is compromised. It means your internal self talk or your default subconscious is fighting against your ability to experience continuous peace. This then means you will put yourself unwillingly. It's not like you will be deliberate in doing so, but you will find yourself always in situations that keep reinforcing that belief. It becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. You will keep reinforcing that negativity. So we must pay attention. Pay attention to your default thinking when something good occurs. Pay attention to your default thinking when something bad occurs. They reveal your true convictions, they reveal the state of your subconscious. And see, your conscious mind produces events. Your subconscious mind produces cycles. Produces cycles. Let me say it again. Your conscious mind produces events, meaning they might not be consistent, but your subconscious mind determines the cycles of your life. Your subconscious mind reproduce and continually produce cycles. They repeat cycles in your life. Meaning, if you can adjust, if you can recalibrate your and realign your internal belief systems, your internal convictions to align with the word and with the counsel of God, to align with the destiny that God has ordained for you, you will by default experience two things. One, by default, irrespective of the pressure, you will find yourself making the right decisions. Number one. Two, because your external world is tied to your internal state, you will also by default begin to attract certain things to yourself. It's not the law of attraction per se, it is the law of faith. The world will call it law of attraction so that they do not have to give credit to the king. It is the law of faith, and faith governs our experience. Hence the connection between today's thought and what we have been dealing with since Monday. If you have missed it, you need to go back, you need to watch Monday, you need to watch Tuesday. We must pay attention to our internal conviction. This is the reason why the three Hebrew boys, when the king showed up and said to them, when you hear the sound of the music of the dulcimer of the harp, you will bow down and you will worship the statue that I have created. Remember what the boys said. One of them replied and said, O king, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. Basically, we were saying, we don't need to go and think about it. We don't need to go and pray about it. Let's just give you a response now. If you're saying that you are going to kill us if we don't bow down, then throw us into the fire. If we don't bow down, note here, we will not bow down, so throw us into the fire. But also know that we have a God who will deliver us. The key here was their immediate response, because pressure has a way of revealing what is truly the state of our heart. Has a way of revealing what we truly believe. Pressure. I've told you already about Martha and how Martha, when she came under pressure, her conscious mind believed that Jesus was the Messiah and that Jesus could do whatever he would ask that God will give him. But when Jesus now said, great, so let us raise your brother up from the dead, her subconscious thoughts jumped at her. And she said, yo, but he has been dead for 4 days. She just said that she knows that whatsoever Jesus will ask, God will give him. When Jesus says, so let's ask that even after 4 days, your brother will come back. She switched and she said, but it's been so long. I don't think this will happen. And that's when Jesus began to weep. He did not weep because necessarily of their pain. He was weeping because of their unbelief. Because he realized that there is such a struggle. And for many of us, that struggle is there. That struggle is there. Pay attention to your default. What is your default when good things are happening, when bad things are happening? We need to address this matter. Now, the joy of this is you can actually become deliberate to rewire the state of your subconscious. You can actually be deliberate to rewire your internal belief systems. You can actually be deliberate to move the convictions and the beliefs in your conscious mind and distill them into your subconscious mind. And child of God, we need to do this. I will say it over and over again. Our conscious minds produce actions, they produce events, but it is your subconscious mind that produces cycles. So whatever you're experiencing in your life, that is perpetual. You keep going to certain places and you keep making enemies. Your bosses don't like you. It doesn't matter whether you work for company A or company B. Your boss doesn't like you. It doesn't matter whether you are with person A or person B. They both behave similarly. They are both negative towards you. They are both physical and physically assault you. And you're wondering, why am I attracting the same kind of people? Child of God, note this. It's not about attracting the same kind of people because look, bees will always be attracted to honey. It is about the fact that when those kind of people show up, you settle for them. Why are you settling for them? There is something in the subconscious that is making that occur, and we need to rewire it now. Now, with what I've said, you could take it in any direction and you probably will be accurate. But I want us to focus on something. Remember, we've been talking about helping your faith work. Now, because of the importance of faith, and because we're talking about convictions, you need to become deliberate to workshop certain belief systems into your subconscious that will by default help your faith to always work. See, I said yesterday that one of the challenges that many people face with the issue of the productivity of our faith or your faith or their faith is the fact that when we are not seeing results, we tend to stop doing the actions of faith. Remember, I told you and reminded you that faith sees, faith says, faith does. When we come under pressure, when the situation is yet to change, for many of us, we no longer persist with the actions of faith. You are not as persistent in your confessions anymore. You are not as persistent in your visualization anymore. You are not as persistent in your actions anymore. And that in the end, of course, stops putting your faith into the world. And then we say it did not work because you stopped doing. You allowed the negativity of your environment to stifle your convictions of faith. Child of God, it's very possible that somebody else will face the exact same situation for the exact same length of time, but instead of the situation making them retreat, the situation could make them double up at their actions and double up their efforts simply because the situation has revealed their true conviction. Let me give you an example. When you try to start your car and the key is not working, the car key is not working, you do not go and take your house keys and try and put it in the ignition. At best, you keep trying to jiggle it if it's a key ignition, or you keep trying to press the button, or you go and see if you can change the battery in the fob that you have so that it might work, or you go and look for the spare key. You will not take the key to your garage and try and use it to start your car. You will persist with the same key. Why? Because in your subconscious, you know this is the only key. This is the key that works for it. Someone else will not come and say, did you try the key to your back door and see if it will work for your car? Someone will not come and tell you that, and you go, yo, I forgot. Maybe I should try that key. It will not factor. Why? Because in your subconscious, the conviction is strong. This is the only key for it. It is possible to come to a place where you have so workshopped a conviction that nothing shifts you. The Bible talks about being not moved by every wind of doctrine. Nothing shakes you, nothing shifts you. The situation, even when it gets worse, it enables you, and it, instead of it discouraging you, it causes you to double up your action. You remember with Daniel, because of his conviction, when negative pressure showed up, and the king said that when nobody should pray to any other god, everybody should pray to only him. The Bible says Daniel, at his time of prayer, he went to his house, he opened the window towards Jerusalem, knelt down like he had done before, and he began to pray. It was not a contemplation, it was a habit. Look, even if he didn't want to, it was the force of habit, the force of internal conviction, subconscious conviction. He knelt down and he began to pray. There was nothing, not those circumstances of pressure could shift him from what he had known had brought him that far. We need to get there. With that said, there are a few convictions that we need to regularly workshop. Note here, if you are going to rewrite something in your subconscious, maybe fear shows up when you face certain things. Okay, give you an example. Maybe you've noticed that whenever you have to deal with a superior in your workplace, there is an unhealthy fear that keeps rising, and you don't understand it, but there is this fear, and this fear causes you to fumble your words, causes you to not be at your best, causes you to give an aura of insecurity and inefficiency. And you've noticed that you need to pause and use the rules that govern the subconscious to rewrite that belief that is causing you to display this or feel this response when you face this kind of scenario. Now, when it comes to the working of your faith, one of the few things that we need to workshop into our subconscious are convictions like this: my faith is the faith of Jesus, and it always works. Those are the kind of things that you need to begin to put as a daily declaration over yourself. My faith is the faith of Jesus, and it always works. My faith is the faith of Jesus, and it always works. You need to have confessions like this, that even when and those of you that follow me, you will understand when I say that you connect those confessions to a trigger, something that continuously reminds you of a confession like that, so that you are forced to say it over and over and over and over. Understand that one of the ways we rewire our internal beliefs, not the conscious one, the internal heart belief, is with words. Another way we rewire the internal heart belief is with pictures. So maybe just before you fall to sleep, and this is important, listen to this, just before you fall to sleep, instead of lulling yourself to sleep by watching something that does not make sense, that does not add to your faith, you might want to stop that and instead use your imagination to paint the outcome that you want. So, using the illustration, whenever you have to face your boss, you find yourself in trepidation, you find yourself hesitating, doing a double think, before you make a decision. When you are presenting, you find yourself you are murmuring, and your words are not strong. There is no confidence. There is fear rising, and so you decide that when just before you go to bed, you picture that scenario again, and you picture yourself confident. You picture yourself speaking boldly. You picture yourself responding, and then under your breath, you begin to murmur, because one of the Hebrew words for meditation means to speak under your breath. It means to murmur. And so under your breath, you begin to say, I have not been given the spirit of fear. No, I have the spirit of love. I have the spirit of power. I have a sound mind. I am the righteous. Therefore, I am as bold as a lion. I am as bold as a lion. You begin to say that over and over just before you fall to sleep, as well as put the picture as the last thought in your mind. You will be amazed, because your subconscious is always at work. Very often, the last thing you think about, your subconscious consistently begins to ponder on it, even though you are asleep. When you are asleep, your conscious mind is asleep, but your subconscious mind is still at work. That's why your heart keeps beating, and that's why you keep breathing, because your subconscious mind is still saying through your brain to your body parts, function. We are not dead. We are asleep. Keep functioning. And so even when you are asleep, your subconscious will take that last thought and begin to ponder on it and begin to workshop it. Maybe you find yourself in a dream, and every time you are dreaming, and pay attention to dreams, every time you're dreaming, you find yourself being chased. You're always running away. It's different dreams, but the same outcome. You're always running. You are always running. You find yourself in dreams. You are always experiencing failure and rejection. It is a wiring in your subconscious. What do? You take God's word and you begin to confess it. One, two, you begin to paint a different picture in your mind. And I'm serious. You begin to paint a different picture where you are seeing yourself in those dreams. And instead of running away from the people chasing you, you see yourself stopping, and you see yourself surrounded by help. People show up from everywhere. You paint the picture of your subconscious. Please don't play games with what I'm saying, because the state of your subconscious is determining the repeated experiences of your life. And if you don't do what I am saying, you will keep going from pillar to post, asking people to pray for you, to lay hands on you. You will keep thinking you are under a generational curse. No, it is the state of your subconscious. It is no curse. If you're a believer, it is not a curse. You cannot be cursed. It is the state of your subconscious. It is time to rewire from within. To pay attention to our convictions and rewire from within. I'll say it again. My faith is the faith of Jesus, and it always works. You can tweak that. Maybe what you need is something different, right? But use the strategy I've just explained and begin to rewrite your internal belief system. I have said a lot today. What I have said today is the kind of thing where for the whole week I can keep expanding and expatiating on until and there's so much. That's what I'm trying to say. There's just so much in it. Please pay attention to it and begin to action it. Come back and listen to this again. You will hear some things that you thought you heard, but you really didn't hear. And then you will be equipped enough to act accordingly. I hope this has blessed you. Many of us, we need to send this to members of our families, because we are seeing cycles and patterns that should not be there. And everyone needs to be on the same page so that we all can be delivered together. I have personally believed that if you are the only one delivered in your family, then there is no true deliverance for your family. When we come out, we bring everyone out with us, and it is possible to do so. Amen. Amen. Will you bless? If you are on my YouTube channel, please, and you've not subscribed, subscribe today and share. Tell other people to subscribe. If this channel is blessing you, tell other people to subscribe. All right. If you have subscribed, then like the stream. Don't just exit. Like the stream and then share the stream. That is your own way of evangelizing as well. their stream. Important announcement. Activate will resume next month and from next month. That is the month of March. And we have a special Activate session. Actually, Activate is supposed to be the first Tuesday of every month, but this special session of Activate is going to be on Tuesday, the 18th of March. Tuesday, the 18th of March, and it's an in-person service. It's a full-on service. It's at 6:30 p.m. and we are going to be hosting the phenomenal Pastor Ayo Ajani. For those of you that have that were in Zion last year when we hosted him, you will recall how phenomenal a minister he is. He has drunk from the waters of the great Kenneth Hagin and their ilk, and so his presentation is refreshing. His word, his move, the move of the Spirit that he operates under is phenomenal. I remember the last time we hosted him, all sorts of things have happened in the times since the last time he came, which is just a few months ago. We're going to be hosting him again. The details will be on the screen on the 18th of March, Tuesday, the 18th of March, 6:30 p.m. All right, and it will serve as the precursor to our Word Works Wonders conference. I was in discussions yesterday about the conference is going to be phenomenal, and the conference is from the 28th to the 30th. Prioritize it. Book. Take your time and make sure nothing distracts you from being there those 3 days. Friday the 28th, 6:30 p.m. Saturday the 29th, 4 p.m. and Sunday the 30th, 10 a.m. All right? Make sure you diarize it. The speakers will also be on your screen, and they have been chosen to ensure that you have a glorious encounter with the living God. So many other things coming up. We'll put the details on the screen. From tomorrow, we'll begin to give you the details to register for Bible school. Bible school is open again. We resume in the month of March. I want to encourage you to register for Bible school. It will change your life. We have a variety of payment plans that make it a lot easier for you to follow through. It's a 4-year program. It will change your life. It will enhance your walk with God, and it's both in person and online. I'll give you details. If you're interested, you can send us a message in advance or get ready to register for Bible school. Stay tuned for all the other announcements. God bless you. I'll catch you tonight. Don't forget, tonight is day 3 of our Monday to Friday weekly hour of power, hour of prayer. So I'll catch you tonight, 10 p.m. If you've missed what I've been teaching the last 2 days, I've taught things that I have not necessarily taught on this platform that are so deep and so helpful and so resourceful. And we have left those prayers on my YouTube platform. It's not on YouTube. We've left it on my YouTube platform. Go there, listen to the teaching, join in the prayers. They will change your life. I'll catch you tonight, 10 a.m. for day 3 of this week's hour of prayer. Bye for now.